which means November here in the States, we get to start thinking about turkey and whatnot. But that's a whole nother story for another time, because for our four featured runners tonight, we have DLP 316 and Pro A 007 racing on the vanilla setup for the Rando, as vanilla as the Rando gets. Yep, we're underway with World 7, as Teeks and Mini Guy will be playing with the Halloween skin. This is gonna, well, that's an interesting setup. And we already have divergence with DLP going into the stage. It's 1-6. Everybody else is going to the pipe, so let's see how this works out. And it is a fort, and that is a ping, and that is not the fort we need to proceed. That is the World 1 fort. Pro A is taking the find and get on out of there. And no flight for Teeks. The flight's been canceled courtesy of a Starman, and is like, no thank you. Is Mini Guy gonna try to clip? Yeah, the clip didn't work, so nope! So I didn't see the item from the first Piranha stage. And we've got, and the actual correct fort is going to be 6F2. DLP is setting up for 6F2 fly. This is a very tight bit of movement here that, when done correctly, saves a healthy amount of time in 6F2, but you gotta be careful because the slightest missed movement and you're gonna come up short.
Boom!
Burns.
That's not what I was going after, Leslie Pro.
Yeah, evening was.
Happy Halloween. I just got the message. got the drop on me that I'm on the call with you for the Super Mario 3 Randomizer Weekly. Looks like it tuned in just at the right time. We just got started, huh?
Now we have, starting in World 7, and we've got Teeks and Mini Guy using something special. They are using a special hack that makes the game look like it's straight out of Halloween. The Halloween mod.
That's very nice. Yeah, Teeks, yeah, the ice has turned into bloody ice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's definitely got the Halloween colors. And I see Meaty Guy also using the Halloween palettes, but Pro A and DLP using the traditional colors.
The mod looks interesting, and honestly, the ice fort, I feel like that's something out of Castlevania, let's be honest. Actually, no, the whole thing looks like something out of Castlevania.
Oh, absolutely, it does look like something that I would see in Castlevania, particularly Castlevania 3.
He says the path, as does DLP, and DLP's taking a P-Wing into the World 1 airship. Well, we've all done that.
I'll tell you what, seeing that sun in the dark on Teeks' side, it kind of looks like it's actually the moon with its dark colors.
Is that the moon from Majora's Mask?
Yes, it is the moon from Majora's Majora's Mask. Boy, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Happy Halloween, everybody. The World 1 airship is where Teeks is, but we still got to face off against Luddy Von Koopa, going for the fire kill. Oh, and he's the earthquake variety. 2 hits is not enough. 3 hits, that's not enough. But guess what? Gets the fire kill down, and he'll be moving on to World 2. But ahead of Teeks is Pro A 007 and DLP 316. They're going to World 2. It's a letter from Bowser, which means we're not going to know what that bonus item is going to be until they look at their inventory.
Fire flower, not bad. And chat's already calling out it's 2 in the reverse. Will that be all we get? I don't know. We shall see, and we got a hammer.
Alrighty, and there's a music box for DLP and a star for Pro A. And I'll tell you what, Leslie, it is Halloween, but so far we have got the perfect line of reverse world order. It's early, but we have 7 followed by 6.
We'll see what happens with that. This mini guy opts to play the fort, and it is Air Force.
That's right, Leslie, one of the 4 branches of the Bowser military where we got to take down Boom Boom, and it does constitute as a fort, so it's a possible lock breaker or bridge maker. The 3 branches that can be the lock breaker or bridge maker is the Air Force, the Super Tanks, and the Navy. The Army stage is just a normal level since there is an item at the end. Meanwhile, DLP is on 7-1. He's trying to do the block clip through the wall, but having some issues, and Pro A trying to get it, and doesn't get it on the first try.
Pro A second try.
Very nice. Gets it on the second try to surpass DLP, but DLP not that far behind Pro A.
We got mini guys swimming up a dark waterfall. I don't even know how you're supposed to see that water coming down on this hack. I guess you just have to feel for it and know that it's there.
Next up, we have got the Muncher run. It's 7-7. We'll see if Pro A can get the perfect 2 cycle here. Not that far.
Oh, mini guy running into some problems against the Sledge Brothers. That destroyed block, creating problems as the hitbox didn't trigger properly, and mini guy pays for it.
Boy, did he ever pay dearly for that. That's a tough break there for Meaty Guy, and he's going to have to use one of his power-ups to try it again. He'll go for the Fire Flower, and of course, there's a Fire Flower and a star right there, just to let Meaty Guy know that the game is in control.
And it doesn't have to be Halloween for the game to know when to pull a trick.
And we've got Boss Bass here in 2-3. We tend to see a lot of Boss Bass in 2-3, and hopefully these runners can outrun that pesky fish. But I'm sure some people in our studio audience would love to see Boss Bass get his meal.
And that meal would not be a meal of candy corn either. I heard that's one of the few things that doesn't go well with Boss Bass's diet.
Look at TX and DLP in sync coming out of 2-3, but they are behind Pro A, who's in the World 6 airship, and we are facing off against Lemmy Koopa, and he is the ultimate shrimp, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we love to see.
Absolutely, but what I would have loved to have seen on top of that, Pro A trying to fly up for the vertical screen wrap. It can be done in that setup, but the timing's very tight.
Most definitely, and Teeks and DLP side by side on the World 6 airship. Meanwhile, Meaty Guy is able to get the clip on 7-1. He'll move on, and these two are neck and neck for second place here on the restream. I do believe there are others who are participating in this race that we don't have on the restream, and look what we have for Pro A and Anchor.
That's going to be interesting because the anchor serves as a wild card. We're not going to know what it does until it gets used, but once it gets used, the cat's out of the bag.
There are 2 exceptions to that rule, though. One is that it can't be the hammer, and 2, it cannot be the warp whistle. Since we're not dealing with warps, this is a warpless run after all.
Also worth noting, we have found World 3 and a pyramid level.
Indeed, it is the pyramid level that you find at the end of World 2, and you've either got to have that tail or you've got to use those beetles to break the bricks. Next up on Teeks' side, we have got ourselves 4-5, the only level in the entire game that has the homing variety of the bullet bills.
Yeah, this ain't Super Mario Galaxy where they all home in on. That cloud is crying! That's actually a really nice touch to this hat.
Absolutely, it is a very nice touch. I agree with that 100%. Now Meaty Guy is on the World 6 airship. Pro A is now at the carpet fort, 6F3. Well, that really narrows our chances of seeing a World 6 fort in World 8, because now we're down to just the escalator fort. Meanwhile, we've got one of the beta levels on Teeks' side. That is the 6-2 beta.
Yep, the cold equivalent of World 3-3 and 3-8, I might add.
Most definitely here, and boom boom time for Pro A. Let's see if he can get the 3 hits on. He does. Meaty Guy is done with World 2, so he'll be moving on to the next world himself.
Nice fire kill to get through 3F1. No attempt at door 3 here, but what's not to say our other runners won't go for that.
By the way, World 3 is vanilla, so unfortunately that means no reverse order sweep this time. Ooh, and we can get to the castle immediately, and Teeks takes the lead amongst our 4 feature runners. This is the World 7 airship, so this Wendy fight is going to be very treacherous.
Not to mention very critical.
Teeks not going after the power-up, so he can only take 1 hit. He's going to have to hope that Wendy just had a side salad coming into this race. Oh, he does have the fire suit. Never mind. All right, not an earthquake variety. And gets the fire kill on Wendy. Very impressive. Yeah,
Absolutely. That was definitely one of the better fire kills that I've seen in a rando setting in some time.
And the lack of color fooled me. I wasn't sure if he had the fire suit or not. Ooh, DLP is in some trouble, though. He's going to have to pick up the... Oh, it's a star. Oh, this could get really nasty for DLP. Pro A does have a tail, so he should have a reasonably good chance at the fight against another star. So DLP can't take any hits, Leslie.
This is hard mode for sure. Oh, look, we got a lock on the ground that's blocking the Toad House, and we're heading up to the sky immediately.
All right, let's see how DLP does. 2 hits is not enough to take down Wendy. 3 hits is not enough to take down Wendy. 4 hits is not enough. Oh, she had all of...
Oh, boy.
She had all of the trick-or-treaters candy tonight, Leslie. Forget the bacon.
Yeah, but DLP had some tricks up his own, although that was quite close. That ring almost got DLP, but he got the last hit in instead. Close call.
That was a very impressive fight there by DLP. And unfortunately for Pro A, he did not beat Wendy, even with the tail. He's got to do it over again. So a bad break there, and Pro A gets a hammer from the Hammer Brother here in World 5. And now Homer Simpson's favorite level hit kind of takes me back to one of the Tree Houses of Horror. I believe it was the 4th one, where Homer ate all the donuts in the world. Oh, and Pro A is in trouble again, but does get the 5th and final hit on Wendy, and we'll be moving on to the next world. But Teeks still in the lead, gonna go for this fort. It is the Super Tanks. Well, I tell you what, good thing that nipper wasn't a fire nipper, otherwise DLP probably would have been toast, literally.
Yeah, that's one of the nastiest things to see in this entire game, is a fire nipper, and there is no way to distinguish them from the regular nippers, so anytime you have enemies shuffle on in rando and you see a nipper just sitting there chilling out, it's in the back of your mind, is that a fire nipper?
Speaking of things with fire, we've got ourselves the Lava Fort or the Sky Fort of 5F2, not too far away from its vanilla location, and it is required because we need to beat this stage to break the lock. Unless you had a Jugum Cloud, both forts were going to be required. Of course, Super Tanks is not much of a big deal as Boom Boom does go down on Teeks. Pro A able to get past the Nipper without losing his tail. Meaty Guy's now in the World 7 airship. He, too, going to have the same problem that DLP has. He's going to have to get through the 5-hit Wendy-O Koopa without getting hit. We'll see how Meaty Guy is able to handle this fight. There's the first hit. There's the second hit. That Candy Cane's in a bad spot, and somehow he was able to dodge. Oh, he got hitboxed!
Oh, a hitboxing! And even worse, on Teeks' side, a required Atlantis because we have no clouds.
Wow, I'm sure a lot of people are thrilled about that, but these runners are not going to be so thrilled. But yeah, just an absolute horrible break there for Meaty Guy. Wendy taking a page out of it is her brother Iggy on that one. That was just really bad luck there for Meaty Guy.
Well, after playing a lot of SMP 35, I dare say the Cheap Cheeps wrote the book on hitboxing.
Oh, I got you there, Leslie. Yeah, that was a rather cheap hit, if you know what I mean. Oh, there's the four. Oh, no, the ring got him right there. This is critical. Got her.
That was a clincher.
It most certainly was. Meanwhile, Pro 8 tackling the World 2 fort, the Spike Fort, as is DLP. And DLP going to slip ahead of Pro A by just a fraction of a second. Alright, the airship. This is the World 5 airship in its rightful spot, and we're going to be taking on Roy Koopa. There's still one Earthquake Koopa left in play, potentially 0 if it was designated to Lemmy. Oh my!
That's Moon Shoes.
Yeah, taking a page out of Ludwig von Koopa's, and it's a 4-hitter. Down he goes. Teeks moving on to the 5th world. So we still have...
DLP just hit the lava in Skyfort, and that was definitely not intentional. That might have been a Mr. Eaton input.
Yeah, you hate to see those eaten up inputs, but it does happen, especially when you're in a speedrunning situation where you're trying to go as fast as possible. You get to that critical juncture where you swear you made that input, and the game is like telling you, no, you didn't make that input. You're falling to your death.
Or the game decided to make your input Halloween candy.
We have the World 1 as our next world, and 5F1 is the fort that Teeks is taking on right now. Ooh, DLP going for the frog strats here, but I think that hit was an intentional right there. But unfortunately, he does not get an extra power-up. It is a star, but he will be able to plow through the rest of this airship. Now let's see how he does against our boy Roy. Oh, Roy doing the same thing that he did to Teeks. He's in trouble now. There's 2 hits. Looking for 3. Got through. That was close. There it is. Nice job for DLP.
Nicely done indeed, and it is worth noting that the Koopalings that have the Moon Shoes effect, they have a tendency of hitboxing you very easy, because you could be in position to get the hit, all of a sudden they jump, and suddenly the game registers the damage going against you.
Can you imagine a moon jumping Iggy Koopa? You're already against it with his wonky hitbox. So speaking of being against it, 7F2.
Yeah, you're definitely against it in this particular fort. It doesn't even have to be Halloween. Froe skipped Atlantis with a cloud, so that is definitely a break in his favor that's gonna bring him back.
Yeah, Pro A managed to find a cloud somewhere. I don't know if it was the anchor item or what, but I certainly didn't see that cloud.
It was not the anchor item, as the anchor item was a frog suit.
Ah, so that is how we got that frog suit to show up on DLP's side. That makes sense. Alright. Forts are complete, and we now have Jackpot 3-7. I call it Jackpot because you have the Coin Heaven. Unfortunately, we don't turn off the auto-scrollers in that Coin Heaven. Oh, but Teeks is going to take a chance in the hopes that he maybe finds a Hammer Brothers suit because, Leslie, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think we've seen one of those yet.
We have not. He might also be looking for a cloud as well, because in this flag set, hammers are not going to break locks, and jackpot indeed! Teeks comes up with the goods!
Yeah, the slot machine coming up 777 for Teeks. He gets the all-important Hammer Brothers suit. Let me tell you, Leslie, if that's the only Hammer Brothers suit in the game, that could give him a tremendous advantage in Bowser's Castle.
And even if there's another, that could still be an equalizer.
Well, absolutely. It would serve as insurance in case there's calamity in the first dive in World 8 in the Bowser Castle. Meanwhile, Teeks trying to take on Lemmy Koopa in the lead right now. There's the 2 hits. I'm sorry, Larry Koopa, Larry Cheatsy Koopa. 4 hits. 4 hits it is, and down he goes.
There's one thing I've noticed of late doing commentary for weeklies. There are a few runners that will go for the speed run strats of 7F2. That takes a lot of courage, because one meeting input and it's a lava bath for sure.
Yeah, right you are there, Leslie. Here is the Roy fight for Meaty Guy. There is the 4th and final hit as we get a star from the princess, so only one more letter left to go. And if it's not a Hammer Brothers suit, then, ooh, look at that. A tail already in the bank for Teeks. He doesn't have to go through the coin chute, doesn't have to collect the power-ups, doesn't need that Tanuki suit. He's ready to take on Boom Boom.
Yep, that is hitting the jackpot, heading into Fort Knox.
Absolutely here, and Teeks does take down the Boom Boom. Meanwhile, we've got a Boom Boom fight that Pro A just cleaned up. Let's see if DLP goes for jackpot. I would imagine he won't. Uh-oh, now he's in trouble.
Speaking of uh-oh, we've got Piranha Alley 7-8.
With an angry sun.
Probably the only good news here is that this was not the first level out the chute.
Oh,
otherwise, I would have been hearing about it because I rolled the seed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you would have gotten it for sure. And look at Teeks. Didn't even need to go down the pipe. He's like, you know what? I could play with you, Angry Son, and I'm going to win. And win he did. DLP at the World 2 airship, where he'll take on the 4-hit Larry Koopa. Meaty Guy not all that far behind, but he does have to go to that other fort. Both forts were required in World 1, including that dreaded 7F2. Meanwhile, it's 3-2 for Teeks. Had a boss pass at the end, but it's a non-factor. He'll move on to the next stage.
DLP got hitboxed by Cheatsy, but it wound up being for naught, at least in terms of the Koopa lane.
For sure. And a fort, which way is he going to go? Looks like he is going to take the pipe. That is going to take him to where he needs to be. So panel number 2 has, well, we go from 3-2 to 3-3.
And Boss bounces home.
Yeah, Boss Bass in its natural habitat. Uh-oh! But not those pile drivers, and Teek's going to have to be a little bit careful here at the finish of this 3-3. He's there.
Although sometimes those pile drivers can pile drive themselves. Because hitboxes, it's one of those enemies where hitboxes actually work both ways in the weirdness category.
Meanwhile, DLP was just small Mario, and now we have the World 5 airship, excuse me, the World 4 airship on Teeks' side. Considering all the beefy Koopalings we have seen so far, I gotta believe that Morton's not going to be very salty tonight. But, could be wrong, we'll find out. Tanuki Suit Strats, 1-hitter, no. And he's got Earthquake, but just a 2-hitter, so he had some saltiness in him tonight, but probably not as much as I think the fans would have loved to have seen. But people in chat, you do get the privilege of posting command.
Yep, old school RPG reference. Pro A is opting to chuck the power up, which could be just about anything. Nope, he's just taking it as a shortcut.
Yeah, he just wanted to despawn the Angry Sun there. He's already at Raccoon Tail, so there really wasn't much benefit of checking the plot. It was just to despawn that Angry Sun, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, you can also despawn Boss Bass very easily that way. One of my personal favorite tricks.
Well, a little bit of problems here. It's a 1-up there for Teeks and picks up a star. DLP, let's see if he goes down. He is going to go down the pipe. Now, he just lost his Tanuki suit. Will he go after the block? Looks like he's going after it. And it's a frog suit. But it is an extra power-up, so he is going to be able to take one additional hit, which shouldn't matter much. And yeah, he's just going to damage boost right through that Fire Piranha plant and done with Piranha Alley.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know. Who's on third?
Why? I don't know, and I don't care.
Ah, perfect.
Absolutely. Three of the other positions.
Ooh, Cloud.
Yeah, Cloud definitely going to come in handy, but not many more opportunities to use that Cloud. But we do have to build a bridge, and 4F1 here. Now, if that doesn't build the bridge, I'm calling it right now. I don't know how many forts we have here in this World 4, but if this doesn't build the bridge, Leslie, I'm calling it right now. We're going to see 4F2.
Would not surprise me. This randomizer has a tendency of pairing up the World 4 forts.
The World 7 ones as well. I think to a lesser extent, though, Leslie. I do see the World 7 forts paired up a lot as well. But that does build the bridge, so we're never going to find out. So he's moving on to the end of the penultimate world, where we're going to have the World 3 airship and the weird hitbox of Iggy Koopa. Meanwhile, Pro A is on the World 4 airship, as Meaty Guy also going to take the secret tunnel in the Piranha Alley. And that is going to do it. Pro A takes care of Morton. Iggy Koopa coming up. 1 hit is not enough. 2, nope. How about 3?
Then
there's that
instead.
Oh, man. 4-hitter. Another beefy Koopaling. My goodness gracious. They came to play for the most part. The only one that didn't come to play was Lemmy. But he's a shrimp. What can you do?
Now the question is, how many bridges?
Yep, that is the name of the game here. It's World 8. Predict how many bridges it is going to take to build the path to Bowser's Castle. I'm feeling 2 for Halloween. Let's go for 2 bridges.
Wouldn't be surprised if we had a 3 for Halloween just to keep us on our toes.
Well, that would be pretty cool. And it is a Fire Flower, so no additional Hammer Brothers suits unless somebody else took alternate paths. So Teeks has definitely got a decided advantage on every one of our 4 featured runners. Now he just has to find the path. Hey, look! A World 6 fort in World 8. We do get the escalator fort in World 8 after all.
And there was a lock sighted on what is the Handbridge Vanilla, so we can have as much as 3 bridges.
Yeah, evidently you can have 4 if you have, the absolute perfect setup. One of the runners claimed he saw it, but for some people, it's an urban legend. That was 5-1 that Pro A had just completed on his side. Meanwhile, Meaty Guy going to have to go through 3-3 without any power-ups, and he just runs smack dab face first into that cheat. He'll have to try again. World 8 fort in its natural habitat.
Not in the Dark Maze, but it's still the Dark Door Maze all the same. Which, for Halloween, might as well just be a big old haunted house before they were introduced in Super Mario World.
Most certainly. Pro A taking the basement section where you can get a power-up. Pretty much to each their own which path they want to take in the 4F1. The top route is much faster, but it is quite the gauntlet.
And Teeks just missed the 1 cycle in World 8 fort by about a half second.
Well, that's a tough break there, but 1 more hit and he's good. Meaty Guy now going to take on the salty Morton Koopa. Just needs 2 hits, and he's got him. Oh, 7-5. I think this is going to be an intentional. Yep. Just playing on that cheap, and let's just not even worry about that stage. That is the Army stage designation, so we know we don't have to play it. So now he's just looking to see if he can find the path to Bowser's Castle. Well, now more pipes to choose from. Will this be the way out? No, just another part of the Dark Zone. And there's another lock, so now it's no more than 2. And that's an intentional right there. Teek's running into a hand stage. That's 4-1.
Not a bad stage, but not where you want to see it.
I mean, if it was guarding something, I can understand. But, well, he's going to check this pipe. We'll see if this is the one that takes him to Bowser's Castle. And, nope, that's just another way to get back to start. So there were 2 pipes that took you to the same general area.
This has to be... No, that just brought... Well, that just says that one thing he played broke a lock, so whatever that was not the answer.
So he's going to have to go back to where that Air Force stage was. He's going to have to play. It looks like that's required because it's guarding something. What is it going to be? 3F2. I tend to see 3F2 a lot in World 8, so not a surprise.
And it's a fort that, if you happen to have pulled up a frog suit before entering, you're pretty happy because you're going to be moving pretty darn quickly through the main parts of the fort right up to before Boom Boom.
Yeah, absolutely. And just make sure you don't run into those carpet boos, and you are in good shape. DLP taking on the Boom Boom here. Meaty Guy just took down a sledgehammer to pick up a cloud, and Pro A sees a very nasty 6-5 with an angry sun, but that's really not going to be much of a factor. At least it's not boss pass.
I think that's the pipe. Yep, it is, and it's a 1 bridge. And with that cloud, Teeks is the first of our 4 featured runners into Bowser's Castle.
He is in tremendous shape to win of our 4 featured runners, and maybe even the whole shebang. We'll find out. First try clip. Very nice there from Teeks. Gets the clip now. Just has to make sure he doesn't get hit by the disco waffles. Get that everyman clip. He's got it. Now he's going to go for that final clip that'll take him right into Bowser's chambers. And the mac and cheese comes through again for Teeks. This is going to be all she wrote. What an 8 castle from Teeks at Bowser's Castle. You can't do better. So here we go. Hi, Bowser. And bye, Bowser.
Happy Halloween.
Put your GG's out for Teeks. Boy, a tremendous Bowser's Castle right there. You can't do better. That was amazing. While Leslie's getting the official SRL time for Teeks and whether or not that was the overall first place time, Pro A does take care of the Boom Boom in the World 8 fort, and Meaty Guy is going to be joining the rest into World 8, so he's definitely in the running if he can find the path the fastest. DLP is in 3F2. He could be poised for second place among our 4 featured runners. Leslie, what do we got for the time?
Official time, Teeks first overall, first on Restream with a 32:42.
Yeah, perfect. So he's got the 32:42 right there, and that turned out to be his SRL time, and he is the overall winner. So congratulations to Teeks. Boy, job well done for him.
SackyRacetime.gg.
Oh, not SRL.
Yeah, changing things up we are.
Boy, you dropped that one on me. I didn't realize you had changed. I know some other communities use that program as well, but I didn't realize that the Mario 3 Randomizer community switched to that, so good to know. All right, here we go. 2 hits on Boom Boom and 3 hits. Down he goes on Meaty Guy's side. DLP not that far away from solving the puzzle, but he does have to find that pipe. That's not it. short. Meaty Guy's now into 6-5. And we just got a notification by one of my fellow commentator partners, Diesel Pilot, saying that this puts him into the top 4 seeds. And yeah, he definitely came up big in last year's randomizer tournament. And boy, did he showcase his skills tonight.
Absolutely. To say he's been putting in work, oh yeah. It tells me that I need to step it up at some point, because, well...
This Pro A is going to snipe DLP. That's why we like to call World 8 the Great Equalizer. DLP was ahead of him for much of the late stages, but Pro A found the faster path. He found the keys quicker, so now he is here in Bowser's Castle. He does not have the suit, so no Hammer Brothers suit for Pro A. So he'll go for the fire kill, provided he doesn't get hit. Successful everyman's clip. Let's see if he can get the mac and cheese on the final clip. Nope, he's not going for it. Hopefully the fireballs and lasers are kind to him. The lasers were, so far. Look at these fireballs. Ooh, he's nice and steady. One more. No laser beam. He can get the fire kill, so here's Bowser. 35 fireballs. Starting on the upper right corner. That's the traditional strategy. And getting him to do the nice backwards jump. And down he goes. Great fight there from Pro A. Get your GGs out.
Absolutely. On this Halloween, Pro A dimes on Koopa Soup.
Absolutely. And DLP should be on his way to back to Bowser's Castle, provided he could remember what the path was. And let's see where Meaty Guy is going to decide to go. He's going back.
And with that, Pro A has finished second on Restream and overall with a time at 36:26.
Tell you what, even if Teeks didn't get that Hammer Brothers suit, he still would have won by plenty on Pro A. I mean, that's pretty significant. When you're beating second place by more than 3.5 minutes, you are really doing some good things. Now, Pro A, not only was he second on the Restream, he was second overall as DLP picks up the Tanuki suit there. Now, wait a minute. Panel 2 was the Army, wasn't it?
I didn't see, admittedly, which has been skipped.
I think, Cloud. The Cloud. Everybody skipped it, but I think DLP was out of Clouds. I didn't realize it until I saw the end. I'm like, wait a minute. Was that the Army? Yeah, that was the Army. Had to be. Alright, so DLP won't be able to get the fire kill because we have a star behind that block, and it looks like he's still gonna... Well, he's trying for the clip. DLP trying for the clip. Can he get it? Meaty Guy, meanwhile, he's on the World 8 fort and is getting ready to take out Boom Boom. We need 3 hits. There's the second hit, and there's the third. DLP still struggling with that clip, however. There it is.
Whoop, there it is, and I believe that is a clip that he himself came up with.
Well, you're right about that. Meaty Guy getting caught by the hand stage, and he wants no part of that. Or that was the Army tank stage, that 7-5, and DLP just bounced right off of Bowser without taking damage. That was a risky move there, but DLP trying for the traditional Bowser kill. The only part of his hitbox that is detecting your hitbox is his head. So as long as you are crouching down, or if you're small, you're not going to take any damage. But of course, you still got to watch out for the line of fire that you're not getting hit by his fireballs. One more ground pound's going to do it for him.
Well, Meaty Guy has now entered Bowser's Castle.
what, Meaty Guy's made up some serious time on DLP, but get your GGs out for DLP. Down goes Bowser, and he's going to turn in a sub-40 performance this evening. Meaty Guy does get the Everyman's clip, and he's just going to go right for it, and he gets the mac and cheese on the clip. Very nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
That was impressive.
That was very impressive indeed. For the final time tonight, here's Bowser. He does have the fire suit, so he can get that fire kill on him. 35 fireballs. Oh, he's going right up to his face right there, which is the strat that some players generally use. And down goes Bowser. Get your GGs out for Meaty Guy. He'll be less than a minute behind DLP. Man, yeah, Meaty Guy gained some serious ground there on DLP at the end right there, and he's going to be just over the 40-minute mark. Boy, great performance by all four racers tonight.
Absolutely. Our restream put on a clinic on this seed, and with that, I can say that that DLP finished third restream and overall with the 39-32. Meaty Guy, who just finished with a 40-18 fourth overall and on restream, so the restream sweeps the top four. How often have you heard me say that?
I was going to say, that's just something that doesn't happen every day. How many racers are in this race, Leslie?
$11 total entered, and there's 4 still active, which is...
So that does mean...
There's some real good runners in this field, like Claire's is really coming on strong, Raoul keeps improving, Dust Minion is really strong, Human Mustard, always a contender, and just finished Stewie Cartman with a 41-42. Yeah. Heck of a race stream.
Absolutely, yeah. I know I've been a part of many weekly commentaries, both for this and Zelda Randomizer. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where the 4 restreamers finished 1 through 4. That's got to be an extremely rare feat.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen that before out of any Randomizer weekly that I've seen, and not just Zelda 1. I haven't seen it in A Link to the Past Rando's dailies, I've not seen it before, to be honest. So, probably a first. And I don't think it's happened on Zooter either, but I could be wrong.
I'll tell you what, if Wendy did not have her way with Meaty Guy, he also would have sub 40. He would have passed DLP. But he had a very, very unfortunate hitbox situation on the Wendy fight there, and... otherwise, yeah, that was, none of these racers did anything wrong. There weren't really many major mistakes. These 4 were the best of the best tonight for a reason.
Oh, no doubt about that. And this wasn't exactly an easy seed, because it certainly had its curveballs that would have tripped up many a runner, like 7F2. I don't care how many times you've played that stage or beaten it. That stage can get you sometimes. And Atlantis having to do that, no. If it can be helped, of course. Let me just pull up the schedule here to see what else we got going on tonight. Nothing upcoming, but certainly more stuff after this between Kirby 64 Hundo on Speed Gaming 4 and Metroid Prime Rando Weekly on Speed Gaming 3. And there's also a link to the past Rando League in progress on main. Anything at midnight, let's see. Well, unless you want to be up early at 7 a.m. Eastern for Super Mario Galaxy 2. Well, I won't be up that early personally because I like my sleep.
I hear you there. It's Sunday, but hey, if you're able to make it, give it a look because that's going to be a very awesome race. Now, if you really enjoyed randomizers, we do have some randomizers that are lined up for tomorrow. None of these have Speed Gaming channels scheduled yet, so you are going to want to make sure that you are looking at the schedule here. But at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon is going to be a Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer hard mode. What could that possibly mean? Hard mode? Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's an extra step up on the logic where extra tricks that's not in the normal logic get thrown in. Like, this is the real broken stuff, like the tough stuff. Like, we're talking Suitless Meridia, running through Norfair without the Various suit sort of deal. Yeah, it's the sort of thing that can get pretty tough.
Oh man, and then of course at 10 p.m. Eastern we have our weekly Zelda 1 randomizer weekly race as we are working our way towards the Speed Gaming Live tournament. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Also, from Pro A007 in the race time room is that there are details to come on an extra qualifier for those who need it. And I will agree with Diesel Pilot, SMZ3 gets insane, and I only do normal logic on that game. Hard logic, I'm wagging my finger saying, no, not yet.
I certainly don't blame you there at all. So those are some of just the many exciting events that you can see on our Speed Gaming family of networks over the next couple of days. So I guess with that, that's going to draw our Halloween coverage of the Mario 3 Weekly to a close. Got any final comments?
Yeah, one sec, because we do have featured runners asking about interviews. Well, the bot is having some issues, so we will get right on that.
Okay, yep. So we are going to interview some of our featured runners from tonight's race. So we do apologize for the wait, but we will have them up as soon as we possibly can.
And one this way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have Meaty Guy DP here in the commentator's booth with us. GG, a very, very good run for you tonight. A sub 40 performance. Well done.
GG. That was a lot of fun. That was an interesting aesthetic take too, to give a little variety on the way we can showcase all this. Fun times. Overall, I'd say the run went all right on my end.
Yeah, I think the only major thing that happens, you got very, very unlucky against Wendy. You got hitboxed on, I believe, the attempted fourth hit out of 5. That set you back a little bit. Otherwise, I thought you performed very, very well this evening.
Yeah, overall, it went pretty good. I'm kicking myself a little bit for not using that hammer at the beginning of World 6 to skip that lock and that level. Because in the end, I was thinking, well, it's at the very beginning, might come in handy later on. And of course, once World 3 came along, like I think right after, still didn't have 2 hammers. But then right after that, we got a bunch of hammers in a row. So I'm like, well, dang, I guess it was like destiny that I should have used that hammer in World 6 at the beginning there. But overall, still went pretty good overall.
Absolutely. And we also have our runner-up and winner here. We'll start with you, Pro A007. GG, a very, very good time, finishing second overall. And I think, like Meaty Guy did, you also had an unfortunate Wendy fight, so it took you 2 tries to complete the World 7 airship. But otherwise, you were spectacular as you usually are, Pro A.
Oh. Yeah, and it was almost 3 times. I was really nervous when I got knocked down to Small Mario again. So.
Yeah, most definitely. But I think overall, yeah, a tremendous performance this evening. Our winner tonight, Teeks, making, in my opinion, the play of the night. Teeks, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. And yourself?
Doing great. Well, I'll tell you what, the play that you made that no one else thought of, you went for the jackpot stretch. You went for 3-7 coin heaven strats, and you hit the super jackpot. It came up 3 7s for you, gave you the hammer suit, and it was the only hammer suit of the game.
Oh,
wow.
That's excellent.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that usually when you go to coin heaven in 3-7, it costs you about 12 seconds. So I was kind of dubious if I wanted to go for it or not, or just go straight to the end of the level since it wouldn't really take that long. But I mean, I also had 2 fire flowers going into World 8. So, I mean, the difference in the fire kill would only be about 6 seconds. But as soon as I got in here, I heard you guys talking about the using the hammer on the rock in the beginning of World 6. And I was kind of on the fence about it. I needed a couple seconds to think about it because I knew I would only be skipping 1 level. But I just kind of figured that more than half the time, whenever you break that rock and go behind that pipe, it more often than less it pays off.
Actually, it was 2 stages because you had to play the fort because it was protecting that lock by logic, plus the stage behind it, and then you would have gotten to the pipe. So that's what clinched it for me. Is like I'm skipping 2 stages here.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I'll tell you what, how about that forced Atlantis if you didn't have a cloud?
Thanks, I'm glad I
Yeah.
had a cloud.
Yeah, I took an intentional death in Atlantis just to make sure I didn't forget about a cloud in my inventory because I tend to forget what I collected along the way. And I was like, oh god, yeah, I really have to play this.
I forget to take, so yep, it certainly happens. Also, GG DLP, quite the run.
Hey, thanks. I must have blind clouded Atlantis because I didn't see it at all.
Yes, you did.
Oh, jeez. I got really lucky against Wendy. She was a 5-hitter in the last one. I clipped through. I definitely should have taken a death there.
Leslie pointed that out to me as well, that you were on the razor's edge of taking the death on that 5th and final hit, but you got lucky, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Like you were skipping Atlantis entirely. That's the co-play.
Right.
Co-play of the night right there.
Yeah.
Finally skipping Atlantis without even seeing it.
Yeah, a death at Wendy would have been really bad because the World 7 airship. It's a pretty long one. I'm looking forward to watching this because it felt really good, and I'm just wondering what Teeks did to beat me by 7 minutes because that's a hell of a time. GG, man.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You must have guessed right on the forts in World 5 because I ended up playing all of them.
No, I had to play both forts. I mean, there wasn't anything on the ground because you have to take the tower right away, and then once you get to the sky, there's 2 forts. One is directly in the way of the airship, and the other one you have to backtrack to 5F2.
I went to the ground because the lock was blue and the fort on the ground was blue, so I just figured that had to be it. But
well, yeah, I was using the dark theme, so I couldn't tell what color was what.
Oh, that's definitely a side effect of that theme that I noticed.
Yeah, there was a couple of times, Teeks and Meaty Guy, where I thought you were just Big Mario when you actually had the fire suit. Because when you have the fire suit, you're just as dark as if you had normal clothes. So that fooled me as well.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that was a pretty fortunate call based on the hues then, because DLP, I made the same assumption as you. Like blue fort means blue lock, and that's generally true.
Yeah.
But not in this case. When I saw that, it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Same.
I've been bamboozled by those colors too many times. I don't trust them anymore.
There is a way. There is a way to tell. In any case, you just got to look at the tile under the fort, and if it's on the cloud but you can still see like a square around, then you know it's like the graphic from the graphics fort, and vice versa.
Ah, gotcha. That's a good tip.
Well,
The anchor was a frog suit.
Well,
and nobody else used it as well.
did, yeah, as a lark.
I used it, hoping it was a cloud.
Same.
I used my anchor for the frog suit and used that for Atlantis, and then I got the power block in the beginning and turned it into a fire.
I'm gonna take off. I think Teeks, GG, nice time.
Thanks so much, DLP.
And
Yeah,
yep, it was a good race. Looking forward to the tournament. Thanks for the commentary, Laz and Leslie, and you guys have a good night.
All right,
Good one.
GGs
Good
then.
night, and I'm
GGs.
definitely looking forward to seeing the tournament in action as it unfolds from the commentary side this time around.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a week from today we begin. So I hope to have everything finalized as far as seating goes by Wednesday.
That sounds great. So we're looking forward to that, and it should be an awesome tournament. And I'm sure Leslie and I will be on the call for some of these fantastic, exciting races.
Absolutely.
Work schedule pending, of course.
Yeah,
Of
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Meaty Guy and TX, any other thoughts or comments about the seed or the upcoming tournament before we call it a night here?
Not necessarily about the seed, but I do want to echo DLP sentiments before. Thank you so much, Leslie Pro and Wild Cards fans, for the commentary, and to Speed Gaming, as always, for putting on these weeklies. They're always a great time to be a part of. And as was mentioned before, I'm really looking forward to the SG Live tournament.
Likewise, same thing from me, really. There, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to hopefully stabilizing the internet and using a wired way instead of wireless to do this. That'll help. But I'm really looking forward to this, and I look forward to competing there. It's gonna be a grand time.
I believe it, and it's always our pleasure to do these, because these are always a lot of fun.
For sure.
Yeah, most certainly. So thank you very much. And again, congratulations to Teeks for pulling out a very hot time this evening in our Halloween edition.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, and with that, that is going to officially draw our coverage of tonight's Halloween Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer Weekly Race to a close. Leslie, any final thoughts before we say goodnight?
Well, it was definitely interesting to see the Halloween mod / hack alongside the regular aesthetic. It certainly made things interesting, but the way these seeds played out, I am definitely looking forward to SG Live because it is going to be a very hype experience for sure.
No question about it. I mean, even tonight, you look at our 4 featured runners who finished 1 through 4 tonight. There's going to be no such thing as a free pick on who is going to win a race between one competitor and another. Anybody could win any race at any given time, and any of the competitors in the tournament could very well take home that trophy. So with that, for everybody here on our race, Teeks88, Pro A007, DLP316, and Meaty Guy DP, please make sure you give all 4 of those runners a follow. For everybody here on our Speed Gaming family of networks, and for my commentator partner, Leslie Pro 04, I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23. Have a very happy Halloween. We will see you again next time for more exciting randomizer action.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good one.